as well. With me is Salil Parekh, CEO of Infosys. This is one of India's largest IT companies. Its biggest market is the US. Salil, good to have you with us. Lots of questions about how the Trump administration will impact the outsourcing business. What's your take?
So I think what we see, first thanks Haslinda for having me and Infosys here. What we see is many of the policies being put in place, the discussions this week with US executives is all about business becoming more robust in the US. So if that happens, when that happens, as business becomes more robust with the new approach, we will start to see more economic growth. And typically what we see in those cycles is much more focus on using technology for large programs. So we think it's a positive sign to have that sort of an approach going in. Already we announced our results last week. Last quarter we had 6% growth. We increased our guidance. Our operating margin was above where the guidance was, above the midpoint of the guidance. So we feel quite good about what this year looks like. And if all of this starts to happen in the US, then that looks positive for the future.
Just how good do you feel? Because it was a lackluster year for IT services last year. How is it looking? What are you hearing in particular from your clients in the US?
So the US clients here have been quite optimistic, and their view is with more focus on the economy and with all of those policies coming in place, they are looking forward to more GDP growth in the next coming quarters. And with that, there are new technologies. Of course, there's focus on AI, but there's new technologies in cloud, and data and analytics, in digital services.
So spending more.
And spending more in those areas.
Can you actually quantify the kind of spending that you're expected to see in the coming 12, 24 months?
So I don't have a number, but what it felt like this week in all the discussions, especially in the US clients, was much more optimism about the US economy. So we are hoping that translates into our business.
Salil, is also about the H-1B visa. Lots of conversations, debates about whether it should be expanded, pulled back. What's your take on the debate right now?
So what we've done is made our business more resilient from a few years ago. So three elements to it. First, a lot more work is being done in India for Infosys from what it was some years ago. We've also built some nearshore capability, for example, in Canada and Mexico. And then our employee base in the US is much more local hires, so not dependent on visas, over 60%. So with those activities, I think our business is more resilient. So we feel sort of, let's say, in good shape, whatever direction we take.
So you're fine with whatever they decide to do. We know from our own story that outsourcing companies have been gaming the H-1B and, we're applying far more than what is needed. What do you make of that tactic?
So for Infosys specifically, our approach has been to make sure that we participate to the extent that we need it for our client work. In addition to that, we have large digital centers in the US, and a lot of the work is done by US employees. So we have no sort of specific view on what other people in the industry are doing.
All right, Salil, we have to leave it there. Salil Parekh, there you have it. Salil Parekh, CEO of Infosys.